welcome to another episode of Highs and Lows of X's and O's. Today we are diving into Natalie Novosel's mental cheat code. If you missed Natalie's episode, please tune in. She shared so many moments of vulnerability, growth, and ways to impact your high performance. So here is the deal. What if I told you there was a simple yet powerful tool to enhance your focus, boost your confidence, and manage your emotions, especially in high pressure situations? It's not a magic pill or a complicated process. It is the practice of using mantras.
I still remember the chants. It was just like a little mantra for you. But for me, it was like, you've done the work, you're starting fletch. You've done the work, you're starting to fletch. And it was like the whole summer. And I remember just like I remember Danes actually like chuckling to myself because it was pain. It was like actually working.
In today's mental cheat code episode, we're going to explore why mantras are effective, how they impact mental performance, and ways to integrate them into your routine. So Natalie's message around mantras was more than just utilizing it as a focus cue or even a positive self-statement. There are some key areas I'm going to tell you about how she effectively used her mantras to reframe her mindset and really ways to reduce the negative thinking traps that she was falling into in specific performance slumps. And we're going to talk about the power of mantras in general. This is one of those areas that you have to utilize it on a consistent basis to get the buy-in. You have to utilize a mantra that is powerful, that's connected to the emotion and to your goals. I'm going to break down on why and how to do that. So first, let's just talk about what is a mantra and why mantras matter. Mantras, we're going to break down in little details. It is a short, powerful phrase or word that you repeat to yourself to instill focus, positivity, and resilience. It can be personal or it can be a universal phrase that you use. But really, when you're thinking of a mantra and how mantras matter, I want you to think of this as a verbal anchor of your mind. The science behind mantras is real. A lot of times when I'm giving you these mental cues, some of you are like, oh, I don't know if breathing's going to work, or how is just repeating a phrase actually going to help me? There is science behind these mental tools. In this mental cheat code of why mantras matter, the science says the repetition of positive language engages the brain's neuroplasticity, and over time, it strengthens the neural pathways associated with confidence and calmness. So what's happening is when we're saying these phrases, it's going to our amygdala, which is kind of the area where we get our fight or flight response and our stress reactions. And we're saying if we're utilizing a positive self-statement, the neural pathways in our brain, the things that connect to our prefrontal cortex and our decision making, we're allowing them to take control, and it's reducing and calming down that fight or flight trigger. It's reducing the stress situation. So in a high stressful or high performance environment, if you repeat this positive statement that grounds you, that calms you down, we're saying, hey, you're going to have more confidence, you're going to think clearer, you're going to be able to perform at the level you want to. But you got to try it. Even like studies have done in science around this, if repeating this mantra or chant for 10 minutes at a time, so you're just kind of saying this positive self-statement or positive mantra for 10 minutes, it can block the stress hormones in our brain and it assists in regulating our emotions, which means you will perform better, you will feel better, you will have clarity, confidence, creativity, all the things that have effective decision making. But you got to utilize it and you have to practice. This is why mantras matter. So Natalie's cheat code, I just love it because we get to break down the science behind it, and I get to help you create a very powerful statement that you can just use continuously. And it's perfect timing because we are in December. We are in the time where everyone is reflecting. Everyone is looking at like, what's my word going to be for 2025, and really into these goal setting habits. And I'm saying, hey, let's just connect a mantra with that and see if we can have a mantra for specific goal or for 2025, the year, and utilize this and see what can change and see the impact you can have on all of your performance domains. There are many examples that athletes we've seen in Olympic settings or, high pressure situations in games where you see an athlete that's constantly repeating a word, and we highlight, oh, what are they saying to themselves? So they're saying this mantra over and over again. I think about the Olympics and the gymnastics, or in our tennis players with Serena Williams repeating things and have been known to utilize phrases. These athletes are highlighting that they utilize these statements, and it shows up for them in big performances. Natalie's example, her specific thing that she talked about was when she was training, when she was coming back from injury, she had a lot of self doubt. She had phrases that came up in her mind. She had worries like any of us do. The fear of not performing, the fear of evaluation, the fear of missing out, or what am I not going to do? Or what if this happens again? All the what ifs that consume our brain. It is natural. We are humans. We have fears. But what would happen instead of just like taking the thought that comes into her mind and owning the negative thought and letting the fear and the worries like consume her or have more weight than they need to, she would then utilize the mantra to kind of reframe her brain. And she would have that mantra statement, whatever it was for her, to utilize it and get her back in and get her locked in. And it would allow her to focus and continue the training, the drill she was doing. I love this aspect because she's not just flushing away negative thought and she's not reframing negative thought. She's just kind of saying, hey, that thought's going to exist in my mind because thoughts exist. But what I'm going to do instead is put a powerful programming, utilize a mantra and have that thought take control and have that thought be my focus, be my grounding anchor to commit to the task at hand. And so it's a beautiful avenue of not just using a mantra to increase our motivation or to allow us to feel good or lock in or reset, but she's using this as a tool to kind of block out the negative and get her back on track in a very specific performance setting and focus cue to say, hey, this is my purpose. This is my passion. This is my grounding source that will connect to everything I want to do. And I'm going to say this phrase over and over again because I believe in that phrase and the power of that phrase. And that's going to be what's going to allow me to fuel my success. So the mantra had so much power for her in stopping some of these negative thinking patterns that could have really debilitated her performance in her training. So if we look at why do mantras work? One, we know, as I've said before, they add focus and clarity. In moments of chaos, in moments of high performance, in moments of patterns of poor performance, a mantra cuts through the mental clutter and directs your energy where you need it the most. It's awesome. It's the best reset mindset cue we can have is just this phrase or word to get you locked in. We talked about it managing our emotions and the stress management piece of it. Mantras engage the parasympathetic nervous system, which helps to lower our heart rate and promote a sense of calmness. It is naturally bringing this calm aspect to us when we say these positive mantra statements that we have. And the other aspect is the confidence boost. So repeating the positive statements of, I prepared for this, I've got this, calm and confident, whatever your mantra is, it shifts your mindset from self-doubt to self-assurance. This is exactly what Natalie was talking about in her mental cheat code. She was letting go of the self-doubt and moving into the self-assurance, and then add that into her training domains, and then having positive performance domains added to more confidence because then she physically saw the results she was doing. So focus, managing the emotions, and enhancing confidence. I am all in on this mental cheat code and the use of why mantras matter. So how do you do it? How are you going to create your mantra for success? Step one, keep it simple. Your mantra should be short and easy to remember. I always kind of say like think through of one word to a small phrase of like 3 to 4 words. So strong and steady, one step at a time, next play, you've got this. You can do this in 2 kind of dynamic phrases. You can have it be a very emotional, positive self-statement, or you can utilize more of an instructional task or cue if you really need to be very specific. But what I like you to think about, if you're utilizing a mantra that's going to be consistent over a long period of time, have it be something that's more emotionally motivational in nature, a positive statement versus an instructional cue. Personalize it. Use words that resonate and connect to your goals or challenges. So, as a runner and a long-time runner that I have been, I might have a mantra that says, I'm faster than my fears, because it's connecting me to the overall goal, trying to improve my fast, and be faster at my run times. And it's breaking down these fear barriers that I'm having. It's giving me a sense of control. It's giving me a little bit of a boost of I am faster than my fears. You know, effort, every effort counts. Preparation matters, things like that. Like you need to come up with a phrase that has a little bit of an oomph and control and like connects to you. So for me, when I think of these mantras, I get a feeling in my chest because that's where I hold my energy, my motivation. And I'm like, I'm excited. It's like I'm activating something in me emotionally that makes me want to go out and practice and perform and compete. That's the energy your mantra should have. Then you have to practice it daily. And this is a hiccup of where we go through. Anytime I tell any of my high performers or my athletes, you got to do this daily, you're like, yeah, I don't have time for that. If you want to be a game changer, if you want to elevate yourself to that 1%, you have to do the mental cues daily. It's not a every now and again or when I need it or, oh, like maybe I'll do this now because like it's going to work. Like, no, man. Every day you got to work on that mental game. And these are cues you do it in. Repeat your mantra during your workouts, your morning routines, before stressful events. Just make it be a natural part of the process so it doesn't feel foreign when you have to rely on it because you're kind of in a high stress situation or you're feeling down. Just make it normal. Make it a part of the everyday. The natural thing is we've already talked about breathing. I've talked about the quiet mind. If you want to be a really power in the mental aspect of your game, pair these mantras with your breath work. So say your mantra as you're inhaling and exhaling to deepen the calming effect. Do this during your 5-minute mind that I'm challenging you all to do because that is my biggest secret to y'all is just do a 5-minute mind every day. If you do a 5-minute mind and then you end with kind of 3 to 4 cycle breaths of repeating your mantra, like game changer, this is a winning effect for you. So that's where I would actually start. So I've talked to you about like why they're important and how you do it. But I really want you to spend some time and kind of have this call to action of when am I actually going to create this? How am I going to do this effectively for me? One way to do this is identify a current challenge you're facing. And I want you to look at the words or phrases that can help you tackle it. How can you overcome this obstacle? And I want you to take 5 minutes to actually sit with that and say, is there a word or a phrase that could allow me to refocus myself, that could boost my confidence, that could calm my mind and calm my emotions in the state of stress, that would actually give me some energy and some motivation to go tackle this obstacle. That's one way when you're creating a mantra to really say, hey, like I'm really struggling with this, but if X, Y, or Z happened, I know I could go accomplish it. I know I could utilize this. This is a secret weapon if I did this. That is how you create your mantra. If we're looking ahead to the new year, it is really powerful. It's very trendy to have a word of the year, but oftentimes we stop using that word of the year 3 to 6 to 8 weeks into the year. Do you really want to stop by March at spring break time and be like, oh, I forgot my word of the year? No, like make this actually a daily practice. Make this mantra matter. Put this into a goal you want to accomplish. Write it down. Have it on your phone screen. Have it be a part of the things where you're proud to say, like, this is my reset cue. And if you really want to be vulnerable, tell 1 to 2 performance partners what your mantra is. So if they see you struggling, they can call you out too and they can utilize that and they can ground you back in. We don't have to do this alone. High performers have a team around them that help them be successful, that lift them up when it struggles, and that remind them what their purpose is. So really sit with this and have it be something that's meaningful for you, something you can connect to and utilize this. Mantras are more than just words. They are tools to unlock your mental cheat code to enhance your performance and your mental and emotional well-being. It's a game changer. So I challenge you all to sit with it, to utilize it, to share it, to make it a thing. And what you tell yourself matters. So keep your mantra close and let it guide you through your highs and lows of your journey. Until next time, keep striving and thriving.